with the one and only Boxing Gurus. It's hour before the big fight tonight between Shakur on the quest for greatness, Stevenson versus Oscar Badass Valdez. This is definitely going to be a major bout in both of their careers. This bout is definitely going to solidify their career, in my opinion. It's going to make one a real fighter and the other one maybe not a fake fighter, but a fighter that never lived up to his potential or reached his potential. In my opinion, it's going to be very critical for Oscar Valdez to not let this fruition come to pass tonight. Oscar Valdez definitely has to fight like some of the legendary Mexican superstars that I grew up watching and idolized because they was in the sport of boxing. Particularly one that comes to mind that's going to play a major part in his fighting style Oscar Valdez definitely has to take is the great Julio Cesar Chavez. Oscar Valdez definitely has to fight like Julio Cesar Chavez because Julio Cesar Chavez always put a lot of pressure on whatever fighter he fought because he fought some of the top black fighters of his time. He held his own against them. He beat a lot of them. So it's going to be very critical that Oscar Valdez take this game plan. He's going to have to cover up a tight guard and come with relentless pressure on Shakur Stevenson. Never let Shakur Stevenson get comfortable because Shakur Stevenson is naturally a boxer. He likes to stay behind a long jab and step out of range and keep it that type of fight. A real basic but dull fight. So Oscar Valdez definitely going to have to pick up the pace and never let Shakur get comfortable in the match. Because Shakur Stevenson is on the quest for greatness. He's definitely the favorite based on the art of boxing, the science of the sport, that a boxer beats a brawler. But a brawler can win if he implement the right game plan with relentless pressure. So it's going to be up to Oscar Valdez and his trainer, Eddie Reynoso. I think that's his name. Yeah, Reynoso. He trains Canelo Alvarez. It's definitely going to be a microscope under both of them, just to see if Eddie Reynoso is a good trainer because he got Canelo supposedly be the best pound for pound fighter, beating all kind of fighters from different weight classes. Let's see what he can do with against Shakur Stevenson with Oscar Valdez because it's going to tell a lot about Reynoso. Is he's a good trainer? Can he implement the right game plan? Even though Oscar Valdez is favored to lose, he's the underdog, but it's going to show how he loses in this fight. Is he going to lose by a dominant fashion, throwing the wrong punches, boxing with Shakur Stevenson, staying on the outside, not being able to get in and close the distance? So that's going to tell a lot in your trainer, in the regimen, and in the game plan that Oscar and Reynoso had for this fight. So it's going to be very critical. If I was other fighters who was thinking about trying to get on Canelo and Reynoso's bandwagon, this is the fight you need to pay attention to. See if he can have Oscar Valdez competing on a high level. Because with all the allegations of him having steroids use or some kind of PED use, let's see how he performs tonight. It's going to be critical. The whole world is definitely going to be watching and seeing what happens in this mega fight tonight. Is Shakur Stevenson going to come out of his tendencies of playing it safe first? Can Oscar force him into a real dog match? Because that's the only way he can win. Even though Oscar Valdez can box, but this ain't going to be the fight for boxing. He's going to have to brawl not brawl recklessly, but he gonna have to brawl throwing correct punches, and he gonna box a little bit just to get Shakur Stevenson comfortable, and then he'll be able to get on the inside where he can do a lot of work. Oscar definitely gonna have to have to have a high punch selection. He gonna have to go to the arms, the body, and then to the head. He can't just head hunt for Shakur Stevenson head because Shakur will slide out of that. So it's gonna be very critical to see, and I want to hear what Eddie Reynoso is going to be telling Oscar Valdez throughout the rounds to see if he's giving him the right instructions and seeing if Oscar can implement that against Shakur Stevenson. Because when Shakur Stevenson last lost was in the Olympics in 2016, the guy was a good pressure guy. He forced Shakur Stevenson back. He put Shakur on the back foot, and he was able to work on the inside against Shakur, and he was able to box and jab with Shakur Stevenson. So every time Shakur Stevenson got comfortable as far as boxing, the guy pressed forward, and that's what Oscar Valdez gonna definitely has to do. He gonna want Shakur Stevenson feet to get planted and then bull in on him so he can offset the rhythm of the fight. So it's gonna be very critical as the fight goes on to see if Oscar Valdez is willing to do this game plan to give himself a chance to win against Shakur Stevenson tonight. This is very critical in both of their careers because Reynoso was the one that talked Oscar Valdez in taking this fight. It could be two reasons, in my opinion. It could be reasons that they coming to win. I hope it's that because, you know, he's a young fighter, undefeated fighter. He definitely could be a mega star since he's a Mexican. So he definitely could be that if he, you know, really believe he can win. Or they can do the same blueprint that Canelo Alvarez did against Floyd Mayweather. Because, you know, a lot of people were saying Shakur Stevenson is the next Floyd Mayweather. So the blueprint of that was they threw Canelo Alvarez in there with Floyd Money Mayweather. They knew he wasn't on the level as far as the boxing and the IQ of that. So Canelo got the payday, took the money, and then worked his way up of being the next superstar, in my opinion. But so Reynoso could be, you know, using that game plan. They could say, well, we'll lose to Shakur Stevenson, and then say we'll take over the 130 pounds after Shakur vacate the belt. Because I don't think Shakur gonna unify. I just believe he's just going to win this fight against Valdez and be ready to move up to 135 to get some big money fights. And plus, Shakur is naturally big enough for that weight class. So I think he's one and done after this fight because I don't think he's going to fight Navarrete. So that's a dangerous fight for him, an entertaining fight. So I think he'll just vacate and then let Navarrete and probably Oscar Valdez or whoever else at a 130-pound fight for the belt. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And my main focus on this fight is to see what Eddie Reynoso and Oscar Valdez do as far as winning the fight. What's the game plan? Because it's very critical when you're the underdog. That's why I'm focusing on the underdog on this one. Because everybody know Shakur, you know, is a pretty solid boxer if you let him box. But if you put that pressure, relentless pressure, that Julio Cesar Chavez pressure on him, which we never seen in a real live fight besides the Olympics. He lost that one. So Oscar Valdez game plan for the night, it has to be that. There's no other way around it if he want to be victorious because he's too short to just stand out there and try to loop punches and box with Shakur Stevenson. These are the words for the one and only, hours away before the big fight tonight. Let's see if Oscar Valdez and Eddie Reynoso can come up with a real live game plan to make the boxing world love this fight? Can this be a top-ranked classic fight between Shakur and Oscar Valdez, or is it just going to be another whitewash between the boxer versus the brawler, the limited brawler, Mexican style?
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.